Hey everyone, it's Zach Beck. Today I want to talk to you about how to handle a recession. Now, the United States of America is currently in a recession due to the illness that has swept across the nation. Businesses have been forced to close, residents have been forced to stay at home, and overall the economy really hasn't been able to move the same way it was even just a few months ago. So what we're finding right now is the United States of America being in a recession does have ramifications for pretty much every resident in our country. What I want to do in this video is share specific strategies that you can employ right now in order for you to help navigate through this current challenge we're facing due to the recession, but also so that way you can get out on the other side and be more financially secure long term. So let's jump into it right now. The first thing you or I can do in the midst of a recession is to get our financial house in order. Now, you might be feeling a bit panicked right now because of your finances. Perhaps you've lost a job, you were furloughed, or you're facing some sort of difficulty due to the recession. And if that is the case, I just want to let you know I'm very sorry that you're encountering that right now. I hope you're able to get through this and actually obtain employment and be able to move forward financially and achieve your goals. But if you're currently facing a challenge, try and get your financial house in order. This is not only a strategy that you want to employ in the midst of a recession, but it's also a long-term habit that you want to develop over time. And in doing so, there are a few components of this. One is to cut spending wherever you can. Number two, avoid lifestyle inflation. So make sure that you're not constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses, keeping up with society as it pertains to what is due to you when it comes to how you spend your money. Just spend money according to what is best for you and your family. In addition, avoid bad debt at all costs. And fourth, if you are able to, try and invest long-term with a buy and hold strategy into areas that you understand, such as index funds, ETFs, and things that are much more long-term trajectory that allow you to actually return some sort of gain on the stock market investments. But overall, try and do what you can right now to get your financial house in order. And in that particular order, I know I just talked about investing, paying down debts, and things of that nature. You might just be concerned about making your rent payment or being able to put groceries on your table. So I understand that everyone's circumstance is a bit unique during this season, but I want to encourage you that if you have these principles, these habits developed over time, you have a system in place where you're automating your finances, you're always paying your bills, you're not having debt accruing over time, this will set you up long-term more strategically, so that way the next time a recession hits, you're not going to get knocked off as far, but you can start employing these strategies right now to help you navigate through this process. When it comes to getting your financial house in order, one of the most important critical steps of that is saving money where you can by cutting back expenses. And this is a long-term strategy. It's trying to think about what expenses you make on a daily basis that might not be as necessary, or other areas where you can begin to scale back. For instance, perhaps you like to go out to eat as more frequently than you did previously. That would be something you might want to cut back on. Perhaps you could buy a different brand of grocery, a different type of gas, a different type of technology that you use, or something like that where you can scale back. But also think about your larger expenses. It's not just cutting back on cups of coffee. It's thinking about areas where you make big expenses on a monthly basis, such as your rent, such as your car, such as your technology like your phone, your insurance, things like that. So think about your entire budget as a whole and where you might be able to cut back on. And specifically as it relates to cutting back, there's a strategy that you can begin to employ right now, and that would actually by being willing to negotiate with your bills. So when it comes to that, what I mean is you can call up your credit card company, your phone company, any company that you currently have where you owe money or you're making a monthly payment, and try and negotiate down to a lower rate. Right now, interest rates are very low because the Federal Reserve has brought them down to almost zero. So this is a time right now where you can look at refinancing, negotiating, and try and make your bills, bring them down to as low as you possibly can. I would encourage calling your phone provider, your cellular provider. I would call your fitness provider. If you currently have a gym membership, I would contact your cable provider. I would try and do anything you can to find where you can negotiate and actually scale back your resources, because all of these companies want to continue to have their customers. It's a very competitive market right now, so you actually are in the driver's seat where you can try and do some negotiation. I would also strongly recommend calling your credit card provider, try and negotiate a lower monthly payment that you're currently dealing with, try and lower your interest rates if possible by consolidating if that works for you and if it makes financial sense only to do it for the longer term approach. So those are just some tips that you can use right now. Be willing to negotiate to try and save money where you can, and that hopefully will bring down your overall expenditures necessary on a monthly basis so you can make it your financial self whole to get through this recession. Now, when it comes to saving this money, what you also want to do is set up what's called an emergency fund. Now, most financial experts recommend that you have 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved in some form of a savings account, and this is so that way you can use this in a case of an emergency. And if you did not have this going into the recession, it's something you want to start developing now, so that way in the future you're able to navigate even more effectively, so you always are able to make sure you're paying your monthly bills necessary in order to be able to maintain financial wholeness. Now, when it comes to this, there are various ways you can go about doing it. Now, if you are going to be, say if you receive unemployment benefits right now, you're getting that extra $600 a week, which is actually set to expire on July 31st, perhaps taking that money and not spending it on things that are necessary, like don't go purchase things on Amazon or don't go buy extra products, just set that into your savings account, hopefully into a higher interest savings account. I know those are a bit limited right now because the Federal Reserve cutting the rates, but if you're putting that money just in a separate savings account, so let it build up over time so that way you have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses set aside, that will help you navigate just about any challenge that comes your way. So just try and do your best to save up money, do what you can to store it aside, so that way if some sort of rainy day hits or some pandemic hits or a recession hits, you're ready to navigate that in the strongest foothold possible. Important step to make when you're going through a recession is that if you have the means to, continue to invest. Now, recessions happen periodically throughout our current economic climate. It's something that is just part of the normal cycle of things. Obviously, this pandemic has caused us to have even a more alarming issue that's come our way because of the health ramifications associated with it, but the economic associations are slightly different. You're gonna find because the stock market over time actually has an upward trajectory, it's wise to continue to invest. Now, I'm not talking about picking and choosing individual stocks, like trying to buy Tesla right now, or if you bought Hertz when it was really low, or Carnival Cruises or something like that. What I'm talking about is investing in an index fund and doing that through your 401k or a Roth IRA. And in doing so, you're able to maintain your overall investment into the accounts, so that way you're continuing to go into the stock market, and over time that's going to build your overall nest egg so that way you can retire comfortably. Now, if you decide to hold back from investing over time, you're going to miss some of the lowest days possible to purchase and some of the highest days where you're going to actually have a great return. And this is something that happens periodically for investors, those who are wanting to time the market, is that you try and time the market, and if you miss just the highest number of trading days or the lowest amount of trading days over that period of time when you're invested in the stock market, it actually disproportionately has a negative effect on your total balance at the end of the day. So my encouragement is that if you have a strategy in place right now where you're making regular contributions, as long as it is not affecting your ability to pay your rent or your mortgage, affecting your ability to put food on the table, your transportation, your electricity, your heating, all the air conditioning, all those kinds of things, if it is not affecting that, then I would encourage you to keep going at it, because this recession will be a certain period of time, but then there's going to be a period of time when we're no longer in a recession, and you want to be positioned even stronger when you get there. So my encouragement to you is to continue to invest. I personally choose index funds. There are various ways you can go about doing this. I'll put links in the description of different companies that offer opportunities for you to invest if you'd like to continue to do so. But it's a very smart step that you want to take in order to help navigate through this process during the recession, but also so that you come out on the other side in a stronger position than you were before. Furthermore, what you want to do in a recession, when we're talking not just about finances, but from a personal perspective, is do some introspection during this time. If currently you're unemployed or you're furloughed, try and reassess your current economic environment that you are in. Perhaps you might want to reassess what your current vocation is. Perhaps you might want to reassess even where you currently live. Maybe the cost of living is very expensive where you currently reside. Try and think about your life holistically and how you can be positioned long term to be in a better foothold, so that way if a recession comes again in the future, you're able to navigate in the most strategic manner possible. Now, I know that's a very multifaceted component of your life where you're thinking about what type of job you have and where you live. Those are some of the biggest things and decisions that you make, but this is a great time for you to consider that, because perhaps you're situated well, you love where you are, and that's a great thing for you to do, but perhaps you're looking at going somewhere where there's more economic opportunity. Perhaps you want to go where cost of living is low, where taxes are lower, things of that nature. So now's a great time for you to do that type of research, self-reflection that you might not have had the opportunity to do so when you were in the midst of working a full-time job. So all that being said, I just want to encourage you, my whole point on this channel is to create content that hopefully makes a positive impact in your life by providing you with resources and tools and ultimately encouragement so you can fulfill your potential. So I'm hopeful that as you're going through this time, no matter what challenge you're facing, most importantly, I hope that you are safe, I hope that you're healthy, I hope that you're doing everything you can to navigate properly. but also I really hope that you're able to come out through this situation in a stronger position than you were before, so that way you can achieve and go forward on your personal, physical, spiritual, and vocational goals, ultimately leading you to having better financial objectives in the long term. So ultimately, take this time, do some reflection, and do what is going to be the best situation for yourself. My encouragement to you is to take this time and make it as effective as possible while still dealing with the issues in the present moment. With all that being said, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch the video today. If you wouldn't mind, please like the video. It actually really helped the channel out for the YouTube algorithm and help push this video to other people who might need to hear an encouraging message like this. In addition, if you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. I'd love to interact with you, answer any questions you have, and engage with you on this topic and on other topics, so that way I can do anything I can to help you and make a positive impact in your life. Furthermore, if you want to continue to see these videos, do everything you can to engage on this channel, please subscribe to the channel. I would truly be honored if you do so. I'm going to continue to create content that I hope will make a positive impact in your life by encouraging myself and yourself to lead lives of meaning and purpose, all while maintaining balance and moderation. And if you do subscribe to the channel, please tap the notification bell. That way you will be notified every time I post a video, which I try and do on a weekly basis. So once again, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch the video today. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of your day. Talk to you next time.